the traditional rose beads go black.
So you can see where we irrigated last time where the water ran down into the gopher holes, because this part is a lot greener than this part here, which is less green.
So now that we have irrigated and we know how we are going to irrigate, and we have 3 forms of water here, so that's not going to be a problem, we're going to have to concentrate on doing something about the gophers. So these holes that Florian's putting a stick down to check that they are gopher holes, which they are, a piece of metal actually, are all over the land. There's one there and they're dotted all around. So
this one makes a bend right over there.
So some people have said, you know, you can drown them out, which we could do with the irrigation. There's a way of fumigating them out, but we'd have to be systematic and put flags in the ones we've fumigated and see if that's worked. You know, basically we're going to have to work on this because it's not worth planting if we've got gophers everywhere. So if you have any ideas out there or any experience, we'd love to hear from you.
So we're continuing to work on the willow. It's not endless, but sometimes it feels like it. So even though it may be hard to appreciate, when we look at it, what we've already done, we've cleared this little peninsula, and now we have clear access to one of the beaver ponds, so that makes it all worth it.
We've revealed another beach area just by getting rid of the willows, because they're the invasive species. The others are berries and wildflowers and other things which are fine, and I hope they'll take more of a space, and other plants that like more light will come. But we really, you know, I hesitated because I really don't want to upset the beavers, but at the same time, if we let the willow just carry on, there'll be nothing here in a year or so. It's the last minute of being able to save this piece of wildland.
So this is our slash pile. It's still a tiny fraction compared to everything we have to cut down, but we're going ahead with it. So I thought this was interesting. This is one of the old fruit trees, obviously completely dead, but you can see that the beavers felled it. You can see the classic beaver bite marks. They didn't use it in one of their dams. It was on dry ground, but the beavers cut down a lot of the trees.
So we've exposed behind Florian, you can see those stones, big rocks, and there's a kind of, if you move a little bit, Flo, there's that stone wall. So the aim is we bring a saw to saw these bigger parts of the old dead fruit tree. We've exposed this beautiful little beach area, and then we'll expose these stones some more, but keeping all the wildflowers, just getting rid of that dead wood that's next to Florian from the old trees, the deadwood here, and any willows. But look how beautiful this is. And we're in the desert. We're in New Mexico. This is just like the biggest gift. And we didn't know we'd bought this when we bought the land. We found it afterwards. It's a very nice balance with our life as writers, teachers, coaches to come and work on the land, isn't it?
Absolutely. The land is physically tiring, but emotionally really energizing. And just what we did today, exposing more of the, let's call it the beach, totally transforms it. It just looks so different than it looked. It was just, you couldn't see, it was invisible. It was like under a spell.
Yeah, it was, you couldn't access it unless you really struggled. And then you couldn't really see it because the willows were so invasive that they stopped you really seeing and sensing what is there. And what is there is this beautiful, beautiful waterways made by the beaver. And you know, I say it again and again, but I really, really want to be super sensitive to the beavers and to the birds, and not destroy their habitat, but just be stewards of it. So that's what we're trying to do. So we've been here for 3 hours, and just clopping away is just such a nice thing to do at this time of the evening. It gives the dogs a bit of a time out, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like it's overwhelming, but then every day we do even a few hours work, you can see the fruits of our labors awakening the landscape.
And we're, as you can see, just sitting on the outside on the deck of the tiny house. And for the first time ever, when I went in there today, it doesn't smell of mice or mice poop. It's clean, you know, and it's summer. There's nothing in there for them now because it's empty. So there's no reason for them to go in there. But we do have to, once we've got the windows in, we are going to have to do like a massive anti-mouse preparation before we do anything else. So if any of you have really good tips about the best way to prevent mice coming into this type of building, we would be really, really open to it. We are going to put metal wool in every single tiny hole and then an anti-mouse foam. But if anybody's got any other ideas, please share them in the comments. We've collected a lot of lovely yarrow, and now we're probably full enough for Jar to take it back to the distillery, and I'll be excited to see what it gives as an essential, because this year, probably because the winter was dry, the yarrow is a lot drier and smaller. It means actually that it could produce very interesting and better essential oil, because plants produce more oils in harsher circumstances. So that's why the wild yarrow is so good.
Alright, so we just got the yarrow from our parents. They harvested this wild yarrow. Now we're going to fill the distilled up. Actually, we need to weigh it before, see how much raw material we get, so we can calculate our yields. But the material is it's really nice, really typical of yarrow, obviously. Interestingly, yarrow is one of these. It's in the sunflower family, you know, unmistakably, and the sunflower family is quite a new family as far as evolution, and so there's all these micro species, and they're still fully differentiating, and so you tend to see in the sunflower, at least in my experience, morphological micro variants, you know, microtaxa, quite common, and also in the world of essential oils and chemicals, you get a lot of like chemical variants and chemotypes, more or less well defined. Sometimes they overlap, so they're not quite chemotypes, but you did get this huge chemical variance. So here in this is northern New Mexico material, but I've seen this plant all around the world. I saw it in Colombia, saw it in Turkey, Morocco, France, saw it in England. I mean, pretty much everywhere I go, as long as you get into the right altitude, if you're further down south, often this plant followed the pasture trade and the sheep and the grazing, the cattle, the seeds they use. So extremely widespread plant, emblematic of Mediterranean culture, highly medicinal, and also highly variable. So we're going to distill it and see what our variation smells like this year.